So this is the portfolio that got me into university, and I just want to have a look at it. Here it is. This video is for me, just for me. So for reference for myself and anyone who watching this who does care, making a portfolio for university was a very interesting experience because in my A-level photography class I was one of 2 people who did self-portraits, and pretty much everyone else did regular portraits or landscapes, but the ones who were going into uni for photography were submitting mostly landscape portfolios, which are mostly also film and black and white. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to actually include because I think my teacher had more experience in other genres, and it was very hard for me to find cohesion, because if I do a photo shoot I get one image out of it, whereas everyone else in my course would get several. So when they put their portfolios together, out of 4 shoots they could have a very cohesive, very beautiful portfolio, and I did not have that. So it was a very big struggle putting this together. But the first thing in here is my essay for component 1, what was component 1? It was in uni it's an STA, which is self-devised assessment. I don't remember what it was called for A-level anymore, but it was the unit where you just make whatever you want for it. So this is the essay I wrote for that project, which is about how referencing art mythology and like any kind of historical story can influence how a viewer sees a photograph. And this is in here because I think my teacher advised me to put it in, but at my interview no one read it. I think they just acknowledged that I can write a bit. And this, I want to show you this. It opens up. I organised it from pretty much oldest to newest work, so hopefully they would end on a good image, but you can't really see that. I think I showed off all this work in the video where I was talking about like going through my old photos, because all my best work I pretty much made in the unit after I had submitted this. So I had my interview in January 2019 and all my work was made in like the following spring. So yeah, they're all A4 prints, and they're in these like archival sleeves that are shiny and like keep them safe. So the first things that are in here are, I'm fumbling a lot, this is not a good video, but this is for me for reference. I always wonder like what is actually in this box, and I want to bring it anyway because it's heavy. But the first 3 in here are these powder paint ones that I mentioned in my last video, where I still quite like them. But the issue with these ones is that I think I must have saved them like directly off a website or as an Instagram screenshot, because the quality of this, I don't know if you can see, is crusty. This one's also crusty, and this one's crusty. The quality of these images, as much as I like them, it shows some kind of diversity to what I photograph, the quality is so bad that why did I get into uni for submitting blurry Instagram photos? The next 3 are also next 4 are also more of these powder paint photos with a different group of people, I guess to show that I have different friends. But pretty much the only non-me, non-self-portrait photos in here are these powder paint photos, which I do not think shows off my work at all. I'm having doubts. I really need to shoot with other people. If you are seeing this and you would like to shoot, please hit me up. I'm desperate for diversity in my work. The next 3 we have this, like, pretty much all my work I made, even though they weren't from the same shoot, but I did 3 similar shoots to have like a good Instagram row. So that's what these are. These I also think, editing wise, this is before I knew how to use layer masks, so some of the edges are a bit, I will say it again, crunchy. The concept of these images aren't anything unique. This is a rip-off Adam Bird photo. I think I might have actually taken these book pages from his photo. This one with all the hands is also very overdone concept. But I think I wanted to show growth in my portfolio rather than all of my best work. Because also this whole thing of getting 1 image per shoot is like, if I do 10 shoots I only get 10 photos. If someone else has 10 shoots they could have if every photo is good, they could have like 100 photos. So I was very limited on what work I could actually put in this. So bear in mind, if you are a self-portrait photographer, if you do a lot of, I guess, very high concept surreal editing, bear that in mind. We have these two. I don't remember what the middle image of this row was, but these I think I still like. It's a time where I was getting more experimental with my editing, but I didn't do anything in regard to costume. So this is just me in my harness shirt in the woods. So yeah, I like the idea of these, but I've also reshot this concept. You'll see it at some point. I've redone this a bit better, so I probably should have missed these out. Also my eye bags and my facial expression. I don't know if you can see that. It's disgusting. But yeah, this Instagram row, my mum loves these. I like these because they're blue and I like blue. This is also another rip-off Adam Bird photo. And I'm realising, do I have a single good idea? Do I have a single original idea? Because, yeah, at this time in my work, it was very much not, I was going to say parodying, it was more pastiching. I was very influenced by specific photographers, but I basically just stole their work. This is embarrassing. Then we have this book. We have this middle one. I still love this a lot. I tried to recreate this and it wasn't as good as the original, so this remains my superior photo. This I can't stand just because the lighting on it is so bad, and this was before I shot in RAW, so I could not do anything to fix this in post. But I have a very my head is glowing in that, like as it's glowing now. So I could not bring any detail back into that hair. It's just a white spot. But I think I mentioned before, I just don't like this image. It's not original. The editing's bad. The edges are very crusty and rough, and the colours aren't, like, the background doesn't match this blue and white colour scheme. And basically the same for this. This one I slightly like this more because the pencil in this one is just so bad. A little more about my uni experience. I did my interview January 19th, 2019, which was a Saturday, I believe. And I think it went well. There was a guy I've had as a lecturer in there who was doing the interview, and there's also like a student mentor person, I guess. And she went to my college, and we had the same teachers because she was there a year before. We had Nigel as our photography teacher. So we were just chatting about Nigel, and I think that made me come across better in the interview because I'm not good talking. I can answer your questions well. I can't like have a conversation. I can't have a little bit of banter with the interviewer. So I think that made me come across as more as a person. But I had my interview on the 19th on the Saturday, and I got my offer the following Wednesday. So 19th is a Saturday. The 23rd, 24th. I originally got a conditional offer where they were going to let me in with a lower grades than they would have originally asked, which is great. But then they said, but if you accept us as our first choice university, we'll give you an unconditional offer. We will let you in no matter what. And as my university, I've been wanting to go there since I was probably like 12 years old. For the past 7 years, this has been my dream university. This was the only one I wanted to go to. This was my choice. So I was like, yes, I will have an unconditional. I will get in here no matter what. And usually at that point, I think my university gave out a lot of unconditional offers because I think people stop trying with their coursework when they get the offer. But I kept trying because I'm a try hard and I want good grades even if they don't matter. Next up we have, I'm going to do this one by one, this dragon photo, which this bit I don't mind. The actual dragon itself is the issue for me. And I think this is where it goes into more fantasy vibes, and this was also a lot more greater focus on editing. It had a little bit of costume in there. But I'm just judging all my photos. I'm just showing you what I used to get into uni. You can't see very well, but the colours don't match, and there's also like on this little cape bit around my neck and around the hairline, I wasn't good at cutting around hair. So there's bits that are still pink that should have been changed to blue to be my cape. But yeah, this is a very bad example of my editing. This should not have been in my portfolio. We have this. Originally I did photograph individual paper airplanes to make this more realistic, but the lighting was very bad in this room because it had no windows, so I was using the light coming in through the door. So the paper airplanes were kind of not redeemable. So I just found ones off Google, which is why I don't like this photo. And also there's like a lot of like dodgy editing around my arms. This one, the dress is just bad. It's just my skirt made bigger, which it's just not good. Also, this paper plane, it might have been ripped off an Adam Bird photo. It might have been oh god, I don't remember anyone's name. I think I just took the paper airplane out of an Adam Bird photo. It was red. The girl had a red dress with long sleeves. And then we go into these photos where it's the concept I did before, just better. And oops, not that one. Yeah, this is my triptych, kind of. But this would have been a very good Instagram row because I lined it up. You can't tell from these prints, but I lined it up so the lines do carry on into the next image. But then I don't think I liked it as a row because it was they're too similar, so I ended up spacing it out. But I do still like these. I like the very simplistic colour palette and like the high contrast, and the dress is not bad. This one is the first time I tried to make my hair longer in the image, and it's alright, but I did not know how to cut out hair at this point. I'm still very shaky on it. We have this one, which I don't remember what I said about this in my last video. I still do kind of like it. I think I would have done it differently if I did it again. But I have no issues with the editing of this one. This was fine. I would have kept this one in there. But I think it could be another overdone concept. It's not very original. We have my Cupid, which I do still love. Again, before I shot in RAW, because you can see my hands are completely overexposed. There's no detail there at all. And basically if I did this again, I'd probably just change the arrow to one that isn't of Google Images, so it kind of looks more realistic in the rest of this image. But I do still like this a lot. I might remake it at some point. We have the hands, which is another overdone concept, but this is the most challenging editing I had done at this point in my career. And I was very proud of how this turned out. I'm still quite proud of it. I have redone this in my new grainier, darker painting style, which I'll put here. I've redone this idea. I think I redid it better, but I do still love the simplicity and the minimalism of this one, and my abilities at this stage were very limited, so this is very good for me. And the final image in my portfolio is of a friend. You can't see this at home. You can't see. I'll put the image up properly here so you can see it. But this is an image that I shot, I think, January 2018. And the edits I did at the time were before I had Photoshop. So I was just struggling. So I put this shoot down for a while, and I came back December 2018. And I actually made it then. It took me a full year to edit this photo. And this is still probably one of my favourite photos and the hardest editing I've done. I spent ages watching a Brooke Shaden tutorial on how to actually make this. And it was difficult, and I'm basically proud of myself for the effort this took, the time it took. And also it taught me that I don't have to do things right the first time. Sometimes a concept just won't work until literally a year later when I have new ideas. Sometimes you can just put a shoot down and come back to it. But this is an image that I still love a lot. And now that I know how to make this, I can make all my photos look like this. So yeah, that is my uni portfolio. And I remember thinking at the time, I say now, I'm not a fan of my portfolio. I think it's very weak in a lot of places, but it does have some strong moments. But even at the time when I made this, I still thought that. I was struggling because I didn't have enough work for it, which is why I had to bring in old work that wasn't relevant to my current interests. and why I had to include so many that I just don't like anymore. But pretty much, if you're looking at my old work, if it's a square, I'm probably still like it. My work started getting good when it became square. So this is just a video for myself. I like documenting my growth as a photographer and just how my interests have changed, and I think seeing it in a portfolio that goes oldest to newest, and it just represents this, I guess, era. This was the end of GCSEs, this was the A-level era in my work, so I like it in that context. It's just nice seeing how I've grown, especially as I'm doing uni work this week and I'm just looking back on old work and just reflecting, reminiscing. This is I've been talking for 17 minutes and none of it is good. I've been rambling. This is very much for myself. If someone is watching, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.